Look, let's move along and hit the big story, I suppose, from last week, which was none other than Tucker Carlson. I mean, he was forced to leave the Fox News screens. He still has a contract, I understand, so technically he hasn't left the employment yet. Is that right?
That's certainly what seems to be the case. That he he wasn't kind of, even though he was taken off air at relatively short notice, that he and he's been kind of like excluded from the premises, that he still has an outstanding contract, and now the lawyers are arguing, as was the case with Cuomo and Lemon and Stelter, about the buyout terms of his contract. There's been some speculation that they may just keep on paying him through the end of 2024, in effect to silence him during the presidential election. But on the other hand, he may have all kinds of dirt that they don't want thrown about, and they're going to want him to sign a non-disclosure agreement with some kind of lump sum payout. But allegedly he was on 20 million a year, which was quite a lot of money. So to sit and do nothing for 30 million on one hand might appear attractive. There are rumors that he's now being called to run for political office. There's plenty of time in order to have him registered before the primaries start next year. And obviously he has the advantage of being extremely well known. The share price went down about 5%, though I suspect on Monday it's going to go down a lot more, because he put out just a short 2-minute video on Twitter that got like 65 million views in a day or so. And what has happened is not only has his time slot that he was on, which was I think 8 p.m. New York time, been completely gutted of its viewership, but interestingly enough, the shows who were either side of it that had people tuning in early or staying late, their viewership is halved as well. So it just goes to show how the entire organization was literally relying upon him as a crutch. And I suspect that it's going to go down overall quite a lot more, particularly if he goes into some other kind of news forum rather than running for election. Because it's possible that he could announce now and suddenly ally himself with Trump, or he might wait until the end of the year. There's no reason why he should necessarily, if he's only considering being a vice president candidate rather than a full presidential candidate, that he would have to declare himself any sooner than that.
It's absolutely fascinating. The speeches that he's giving, these podcasts that you could almost do just off the cuff, are extraordinary. His ability to reason and to make sense of the craziness that is going on is very, very endearing, and it provides a lot of confidence, because where Trump lacks in his ability to be eloquent, Tucker Carlson makes up for it in spades, regardless of what his opponents say. He just makes sense, and 65 million views in a matter of a few days is truly astonishing. Nobody gets those types of ratings on any format today.
When you think about how Trump would be expected to perform against Biden in a debate, and then Tucker Carlson against Kamala Harris in a debate, I mean, those would just be like, total victories one would anticipate for the Republican candidate in both circumstances. But what is interesting, though, is both the Republican National Committee and the Democrat National Election Committee are both indicating that they're not going to have primary debates.
How interesting.
Yeah. So they don't want DeSantis, who obviously is a trained lawyer and Navy intelligence officer, grilling Trump. And they don't want RFK Jr. grilling Biden. So they've just said, we're not going to do any debates.
What a world. And who knows, they might not even go with a presidential debate. They might just decide that debating is out, and that would cement the idea that the narrative is entirely controlled, and we'll have to watch this space.